How do I weaken an argument in logical reasoning? Have you ever found yourself faced with a strong argument and wondered how to challenge it? Weakening an argument is a key skill in logical reasoning, especially for those preparing for the law school admission test. Let's break down how to effectively weaken an argument using numbers and statistics. First, identify the main conclusion of the argument. This is the statement that the argument is trying to prove. Next, look at the premises, which are the reasons provided to support that conclusion. Understanding these components is essential. Once you have pinpointed the conclusion and premises, look for any unstated assumptions. These are beliefs that connect the premises to the conclusion but are not explicitly stated. Often, these assumptions are the weakest parts of an argument, making them prime targets for weakening. To weaken an argument, consider introducing alternative explanations. For example, if an argument claims that a specific factor causes an outcome, suggesting another possible cause can significantly weaken that claim. This introduces doubt about the original conclusion. Another effective strategy is to point out incomplete evidence. If the argument overlooks important variables or data, this can undermine its validity. For instance, if a statistical study does not account for certain factors, its conclusions may not hold true. You can also highlight logical fallacies. If the argument relies on overgeneralizations or false causation, pointing these out can weaken its strength. These errors in reasoning can make the argument less convincing. Providing counterexamples is another way to weaken an argument. If you can present evidence that contradicts the conclusion, it makes the argument less plausible. Remember, when you weaken an argument, you accept the premises as true. Your goal is to show that these premises do not necessarily lead to the conclusion. This method aligns with strategies used in LSAT weaken questions, where the correct answer introduces new information that creates doubt about the conclusion. In the context of law school, understanding how to weaken arguments is essential. Lawyers often need to challenge opposing arguments by identifying assumptions or missing factors. This skill is crucial for critical analysis of legal reasoning and case law. To effectively weaken an argument, follow these steps. 1. Identify the conclusion and premises. 2. Detect assumptions that link the premises to the conclusion. 3. Predict what information could undermine that link. 4. Evaluate answer choices or counterarguments to find one that introduces doubt. This systematic approach is particularly useful in LSAT logical reasoning sections that focus on numbers and statistics. For example, if a statistical study fails to control 4 confounding variables, this can weaken any causal claims made from that study. Weakening an argument means finding ways to make the conclusion less certain by exposing flaws, alternative explanations, or missing information. This skill is fundamental for anyone preparing for law school and tackling LSAT logical reasoning tasks.